Hey, what's up guys? Steve here, and today we're going to take a look at the 50 highest selling 1987 through 1994 Michael Jordan basketball cards from the PWCC weekly auction that ended on May 5th. And we'll kick today's list off at number 50 with Michael Jordan's 1994 Upper Deck He's Back reprints with card number 237. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $105.60. Up next at number 49 is this 1993 Ultra Michael Jordan, card number 30. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $108. Coming in at number 48 is this 1992 Stadium Club Michael Jordan, card number 210. This Jordan was in a PSA 10 and it sold for $108. Up next at number 47 is Michael Jordan's 1991 Hoops McDonald's with card number 5. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $112.80. Coming in at number 46 is this 1993 Dog Tags promo Michael Jordan, card number P8. This was a BGS 9 and it sold for $126. We're headed to the inaugural 1992 Ultra Basketball set at number 45 with Michael Jordan's base card with card number 27. This was a PSA 10 and it also sold for $126. Up next at number 44 is this 1990 Hoops Michael Jordan, card number 65. This was an SGC 10 and it sold for $144. Coming in at number 43 is this 1993 Fleer NBA Superstars Michael Jordan, card number 7. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $156. Up next at number 42 is this 1992 Skybox Michael Jordan, card number 31. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $156. Coming in at number 41 is this 1992 Fleer Michael Jordan, card number 238. This was a PSA 10 and it also sold for $156. We get our first basketball card from the 1980s at number 40 with this 1988 Fleer Stickers Michael Jordan, sticker number 7. This sticker was in a PSA 9 with the OC qualifier and it sold for $174. Up next at number 39 is this 1993 Upper Deck Honorary Captain Michael Jordan, card number HC3. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $180. Coming in at number 38 is this 1990 Hoops Team Sheets Perforated Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 10 and it sold for $180. Up next at number 37 is this 1989 Equal Bulls Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 9 and it also sold for $180. Coming in at number 36 is this 1992 Topps All-Star Gold Michael Jordan, card number 115. This gold parallel was in a SGC 10, and it sold for $186. We're headed back to the 1980s for the next couple cards, starting at number 35. With this 1987 Gigantes de la NBA Michael Jordan, card number 35. This was a PSA 4, and it sold for $186. Up next at number 34 is this 1987 Fleer Michael Jordan sticker, sticker number 2. This was a PSA 8, and it sold for $222. Coming in at number 33 is this 1994 Flair Michael Jordan, card number 326. This Jordan was in a PSA 10, and it sold for $234. Up next at number 32 is Michael Jordan's 1988 Kenner starting lineup. This was a PSA 9, and it sold for $252. Coming in at number 31 is Michael Jordan's 1992 Upper Deck International Italian Award winner hologram with card number EB9. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $264. And kicking off the top 30 of today's list is this 1992 Fleer Michael Jordan, card number 273. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $276. Up next at number 29 is this 1988 Fleer Michael Jordan, card number 17. This was a PSA 9, and it also sold for $276. Coming in at number 28 is this 1989 Spanish Action Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 2, and it sold for $336. Up next at number 27 is Michael Jordan's 1992 Upper Deck International French hologram with card number EB9. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $348. Coming in at number 26 is Michael Jordan's 1994 Upper Deck Nintendo. This was a PSA 9, and it sold for $360. Coming in at number 25 is this 1993 Ultra All Defensive Team Michael Jordan, card number 2. This was a BGS 9.5, and it sold for $384. Up next at number 24 is this 1991 Hoops Prototypes Michael Jordan, card number 4. This was a PSA 10, and it also sold for $384. Coming in at number 23 is Michael Jordan's All-Stars card from the 1990 Fleer basketball set with card number 5. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $408. We're headed back to the 1980s for the next handful of cards, starting at number 22. With this 1987 Gigantes de la NBA Michael Jordan, card number 34. This was a PSA 6, and it also sold for $408. Coming in at number 21 is Michael Jordan's 1989 Kenner starting lineup one-on-one with card number 5. This was a BGS 9, and it sold for $420. And kicking off the top 20 of today's list is Michael Jordan's 1988 Foreigner Estrella stickers. This was a PSA 9, and it sold for $468. Up next at number 19 is this 1994 Finest Michael Jordan, card number 331. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $492. Coming in at number 18 is Michael Jordan's 1987 Panini sticker with sticker number 141. This was a BGS 9, and it also sold for $492. Up next at number 17 is this 1992 Stadium Club members only Michael Jordan, card number 1. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for just over $500. Up next at number 16 is this 1990 Hoops Superstars Michael Jordan, card number 12. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $528. Coming in at number 15 is Michael Jordan's 1994 McDonald's Japan. This was a BGS 9, and it sold for $660. Up next at number 14 is this 1992 Fleer Tony's Pizza Michael Jordan. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $720. Coming in at number 13 is this 1990 Action Pack Promos Michael Jordan, card number 3. This was a BGS 9, and it sold for $840. Up next at number 12 is this 1989 Sports Illustrated for Kids Michael Jordan, card number 16. This Jordan was in a BGS 9, and it sold for $870. Coming in at number 11 is this 1993 Stadium Club Beam Team Members Only Gold Stamp Michael Jordan, card number BT4. This was a BGS 8.5, and it sold for $960. And kicking off the top 10 of today's list is Michael Jordan's base card from the inaugural 1993 Finest Basketball set with card number 1. This was a BGS Gold Label 10, and it sold for $960. Up next at number 9 is this 1993 Ultra Scoring Kings Michael Jordan, card number 5. This Jordan insert was in a PSA 8.5, and it sold for $1,050. Coming in at number 8 is this 1989 Fleer Michael Jordan, card number 21. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $1,080. Up next at number 7 is this 1988 Edmonds Bulls Michael Jordan blankback ball and hoop with card number 23. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $1,140. Coming in at number 6 is Michael Jordan's base card from the 1987 Fleer basketball set with card number 59. This was a PSA 9, and it sold for $1,170. Alright guys, and this was a solid week for Michael Jordan basketball cards, as you can tell with the top 50 starting off at over $100. With that said, I pulled aside 10 bonus cards today. We'll start off with this 1990 Hoops All-Star Michael Jordan card number 5. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $93.60. For another classic junk wax era Jordan, we get this 1990 Fleer Michael Jordan with card number 26. This was a BGS 9.5, and it sold for $76.60. For our third bonus card, we get Michael Jordan's base card from the inaugural 1991 Upper Deck basketball set with card number 44. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for just short of $70. Up next is this 1991 Hoops USA Michael Jordan with card number 579. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $62.40. For our fifth bonus card, I found this 1991 Skybox Team USA 2 card featuring Michael Jordan, Karl Malone, and John Stockton with card number 545. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $55.20. For another classic Jordan, we get this 1991 Skybox Michael Jordan with card number 39. This was a BGS 9.5, and it sold for $36. For an early 90s Jordan parallel, I found this 1992 Topps Gold Michael Jordan with card number 141. This was a PSA 9, and it also sold for $36 even. For our eighth bonus card, I found this 1991 Upper Deck Bulls checklist featuring Michael Jordan with card number 75. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $31.20. Up next is this 1991 Skybox Michael Jordan with card number 408. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $25.20. And for our 10th and final bonus card, up next is this 1992 Sports Illustrated for Kids Michael Jordan with card number 4. This was an SGC 7, and it sold for $24 even. And kicking off the top 5 of today's list is this 1994 Collector's Choice Gold Signature Michael Jordan, card number 240. This was a PSA 9, and it sold for $1,200. Up next at number 4 is Michael Jordan's 1987 Edmonds Bulls blankback ball near feet with card number 23. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $1,350. Coming in at number 3 is this 1991 Michael Jordan All-Star Panini sticker with sticker number 96. This was a PSA 10, and it sold for $1,500. Up next at number 2 is Michael Jordan's 1994 Skybox Emotion Intense with card number N3. This Jordan insert was in a BGS Gold Label 10, and it sold for $1,650. And topping off today's list at number 1 is Michael Jordan's Refractor from the 1993 Finest Basketball set with card number 1. This was a PSA 9, and it sold for $1,650. Thanks for joining me today, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.